I'll be ranking the best Spider-Man movies from 1977 to 2023. There's a specific reason why I decided to do this. I'm pretty sure you know, I'm pretty sure you can guess why at least. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. In this list, they have 14 films, but I picked a round of 16 just because I was curious about what they would put to fill like the other spots. And obviously, I have not seen Spider-Man: The Dragon's Challenge. I'm willing to bet that most people haven't seen that, so it's just basically taking up a blank spot since it's round of 16, but it's only 14 films, so yeah, there isn't like anything to put it up against, at least for right now. And now, Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man 1977. Never seen 1977. I've seen like memes and stuff about that old Spider-Man, but this isn't even like the funny Japanese one. It's the 70s American one where, you know, like it was basically mostly like the Japanese one, but just, I don't know, just less comedy, less ridiculous storylines in it. But yeah, I haven't seen it, so can't really judge it. Homecoming's a good movie. All right, now we have Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2. Now, I've said this on multiple occasions, but I'm sure that if you haven't heard me say it, I'm not the biggest fan of Into the Spider-Verse. I know a lot of people like it, and I understand why, but I just didn't really feel much for it. I thought that it was a pretty good movie. I give it like a solid 7 out of 10. I like the story, I like the characters, the voice acting, everything about it. Just basically everything that people praised about it, I also like those things, just to a lesser degree. I just didn't see the greatness as much as they saw it. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 for me has always been my favorite. Of course, nostalgia has a huge part to play in that because I like this is the one. As a matter of fact, this Spider-Man 2 is the only Spider-Man movie that I grew up watching for like the first like the first 8-9 years of my life, because as long as I've been alive, we've had the DVD for it, and that's just something that we'd watch all the time. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 is still one for me in this lineup. And next we have No Way Home versus Spider-Man 3. Yeah, No Way Home is another Spider-Man film. It came out about like 2 years ago at this point, that I just, I'm basically just the same way that I felt about Into the Spider-Verse is the same way that I feel about No Way Home. The same reason, people kind of praise them for the same reasons actually. Because of the cast of characters and the great special effects, and of course the nostalgia of seeing Toby and Andrew like back together, and they're all like interacting and stuff like that. And of course seeing like Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin, all of the original actors came back to do their roles, and they all did a great job. Everyone did a great job. Like everything about the movie is good, but yet again, I just don't like it to the degree that other people like it. I agree with the exact same reasons that they give for loving the film. It's just that I don't like it as much. And pretty much my biggest problem with the film is that they kind of lean too heavily into the nostalgia, into like, of course I know that the whole deal of it and the whole like purpose of the film is to have Toby and all the classic villains and stuff with the same actors come back and interact with each other. I understand that, and I like it, just like how everyone else likes it, but I just feel as if that I don't want to call it a gimmick, but like that story element of the nostalgia of them all coming together and like having, like battles and conversations and conversations and stuff. I thought that that got into the way of the story. It's a film that I would go back to watch with friends or something like that, but it's not something that I go back to watch on my own, in my opinion. Now, Spider-Man 3, on the other hand, in my opinion, all right, I know that a lot of people don't like this movie, um, but I still think that it's a great movie, all right? Even like how they did, like, I don't know, like, people mostly had a problem with the tone of the film and also what they did to Venom, and they think that the movie just had too many, like too many ingredients, too many things that they tried to mix together, and it just didn't come up to a well done product. But I kind of disagree. I like the chaos. I like I like the I like Black Spider-Man. I like, I just like Venom, and still, in my opinion, this is still the best Venom that we've gotten on screen. Like, we've gotten him 3 times at this point, with like with the 2 Venom movies, and of course this Spider-Man 3. And I do not like what they did to him in the Venom movies at all. So, as much as I agree with Topher Grace not being a good Eddie Brock, and just overall not, and this just not being a great representation of Venom, I like what they tried to do with it, and I think that it succeeded enough to where I could kind of buy into it and sort of forgive it for not like fully delivering on the Venom character, because just the film as a whole, like the fight scenes, and yeah, it's got some wonky special effects, especially in the beginning with Peter's fight with Harry as Hobgoblin, I think he is, or is he Green? I don't know, just Hobgoblin something, I don't know. But yeah, despite its flaws, because of its chaos, because of how fast paced it is, and just how everything happens, I think that everything was good enough, and putting it together made it a really great film, in my opinion. All right, I still love this movie to this day, and honestly, sometimes I kind of see myself enjoying it even more than Spider-Man 2, which I'm sure is a controversial opinion, but whatever. I really love this movie. So, Spider-Man 3 for me. Okay, now we have the original, which came out the year I was born, fun fact. Spider-Man 2002 versus Far From Home. I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man Homecoming. Alright, I'm not a big fan of the whole Tom Holland Spider-Man thing as a whole. Alright. I think that Tom is a great actor. But he's just not getting the roles that serves him right. And I don't think that that's his fault that his Peter Parker and his Spider-Man played out the way that it did, and didn't really get all that good until, well, the character that is didn't really get all that good until, what is it? Darn, we just looked at it. Come on. What is it? No, it's not Into the Spider-Verse. It's Spider-Man friggin', what is it? I don't know. We're gonna see just now, all right? But you know what I mean. The third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, all right? Far From Home is even worse, in my opinion, than Homecoming. Homecoming is a pretty good Spider-Man movie, not one that I would go back to. I just don't like the whole sort of like 80s teen comedy sort of feel of that original film. Even though I do like 80s teen comedies, I just don't like the mixture of the Spider-Man character and just Spider-Man characters with 80s teen comedy tropes in them. I just don't really like that mixture. I did not enjoy that much. I think that they made for pretty good movies, but just not movies that I would go back to, just not anything solid in my opinion. Far From Home, it borders on bad in my opinion, because anything that's actually good in it just does not really live up to its potential. Like, Mysterio is such an interesting and great character, and that scene in the film where like Spider-Man is having, like, like he's going through those like those illusions and stuff that Mysterio put him through. That was a really fun and really like well done scene as far as like special effects and cinematography and all that stuff. Like that was a really great well done scene. Just one of the best scenes in any Spider-Man movie, and just any superhero movie ever. All right, I think that Jake Gyllenhaal could have worked as Mysterio, but I just don't like what they did with his character, basically making him into a joke. And of course, pretty much all of Spider-Man's villains have a sort of comic and funny aspect to them, but I I just don't like how they made him so unserious and just, it. I don't know. I just think that they messed up the character. Of course, if he's like going into a big fight and he needs the extra strength and the extra like flight or whatever, he'll wear a special suit. But the way how it's worked into this Spider-Man, I think, especially in this movie, is just too much tech stuff, in my opinion. And just the decisions that they had Peter making this film just really irritated me. Like him giving Tony's glasses to Mysterio just made absolutely no sense. Still makes no sense to me how we trusted him with such an important thing so fast. So yeah, just the movie just did not really stand out as anything significant, and the things that did stand out, they didn't stand out in a good way. They were pretty bad, in my opinion. So I don't think I need to say anything at all about Spider-Man 2002. Like, that's, come on. Of course, it has its flaws with like special effects and stuff, but as an origin movie, it's one of the better superhero origin movies out there, because those can get pretty generic and pretty boring, just going through the same motions. But 2002 is one of the first. So yeah, they did a really great job with introducing the character in here. So of course, Spider-Man 2002 is gonna take the win. All right, next we have, what is that? Is that Doraemon or something? Oh, he was. they don't even have like an English name for this. This is what is this? I have no idea what that is. Wow, what is that? Anyway. Okay, Spider-Man Strikes Back versus Amazing Spider-Man. I have not seen that. Oh, and these Spider-Man films here, like the ones from the 70s, I'm pretty sure that they didn't actually make movies. They just put episodes together to reach a movie length. Like a lot of television shows and stuff back then used to do that. Like I could remember the He-Man and She-Ra movie, which is just like 3 or 4 episodes put together to make a movie, and they would put that into theaters and release it on VHS and DVD and stuff like that. That happened like pretty much a lot back then. So yeah, but I've never seen the 70s show. I've seen clips and they weren't that good. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man is a pretty good film. Didn't reach its full potential in my opinion, but still a pretty good Spider-Man movie as a whole. All right, now Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like this is an absolute no-brainer, but I just want to talk about this for a second. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is without a doubt still, in my opinion, the worst Spider-Man film. It had some good ideas. it had some, like, the special effects throughout the film, chef's kiss. All right, absolutely great. I love I love this Spider-Man suit. This is my favorite. Like, when you see it in the film and it's like shining and glowing and stuff, that is freaking amazing. Like, this is my absolute favorite Spider-Man suit in any film ever. I've yet to see a Spider-Man suit that is better. Across the Spider-Verse, superior film. All right, just came out, but already many people have called it the best Spider-Man film. Like they're, they're not like clearly like legitimately saying it, but it's like, but it's more like a realization that Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man film. And do I agree with that? I would have to say yes, because initially after coming out the theater, I was like, that was like the first question on my mind. Is this better than Spider-Man 2? And I started to think, and I'm like, no, like there's no way that this is better than Spider-Man 2. But then as I kept thinking about it and I kept like comparing scenes in my head and stuff like that, I came to the same realization that Across the Spider-Verse is the superior film. I'm still not sold on Miles Morales as a character. I've kind of always had this sort of like a gripe with him, because but not because of the character within itself. Well, kind of because of that, but mostly because of how he was created. It's where people basically said, hey, let's make a black Spider-Man, and then they said, okay, Miles Morales, there you go, black Spider-Man, which is basically makes him a token character, a token black character. And I hate is a very strong word, but I just hate that sort of creation mindset of token characters. Hey, there isn't a gay version of this character, let's make a gay version, right? And they just put little to no, I mean, like, some of them turn out good, like She-Hulk as a character in the comics is good. Can't speak on the show because I haven't seen the show, but in the comics, especially her sensational She-Hulk run in the late 80s and to the mid 90s was a really, really great run. Like, probably one of the best comic book runs of all time, honestly. If you haven't read it, you should seek that out. But yeah, token characters can be good, but I'm just not like comfortable with the idea of simply saying, hey, we need a gay version of this character, we need a black version, we need an Asian version of this character, so let's make that. But what this movie did is they made those characters fun. When I saw the trailers, pretty much my only concern of this being bad or anything like less than good was, it's just going to be a bunch of token characters. There's going to be little to no development with them. They're not going to have much of a personality outside of what they are showing to us, which is their skin color and their sexuality. But they went deeper than that with these characters. The ones that they do choose to focus on, they do go into who they are enough and give them enough personality, like with the voice acting and stuff, and even how they're animated, to sort of like let me see that yes, this person can work in their own world, in their own universe. I've pretty much come to terms with the whole multiverse thing. I just wasn't, I've never really been sold on it, because it just kind of seemed like a cheap and lazy way to me. It still kind of is the way how some people use it, but at least this film shows me that it can be done well, it can be fleshed out, or at least it's possible that it can be fleshed out, right? Like that is a possibility. So yeah, wow, I didn't even get to the film yet. Okay, let's get to the film. Across the Spider-Verse as a movie is great, amazing. Honestly, the closest thing, it is damn near a masterpiece. All right, I don't even I don't even need to talk about the animation. Everyone has raved about the animation. It is amazing. It is it's yes, it is amazing. All right, I'm trying to find a bigger word than that, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, it is great. All right, everything about it is great. The voice acting, the special effects. Well, it's an animation show, of course. Special effects, great, whatever. But yeah, just everything about it is great. But the thing that makes this such a great, amazing movie is the composition of it. All right, there's a bunch of movies like this that do them really well. It's where everything by itself is good, but everything together is a masterpiece. Everything together is grand. It's amazing. Everything together is like everything. Looking at, I'm trying to find the right words. Looking at the big picture of what it is makes it better. All right, looking at the film from start to finish, all of the characters, how they introduced them, how they're voice acted, how they're animated, how their stories are explained and fleshed out and stuff like that and told to us, makes everything greater. Everything by itself is just good. Like if you look at everyone individually, it's just good, but together it makes such a great, pretty much masterpiece of a film. All right, just everything with Spider-Man 2099 and with Gwen Stacy especially works well. Just like the way how she's estranged from her family and stuff like that. Then it's just everything is good by itself, but together it is so much better. It is great. It is amazing. It is spectacular. Just every euphemism in the book. All right. Miles as a character, I'm still not sold on because they just haven't done the best job, in my opinion, of making him stand for himself. Peter Parker has been developed for decades, at this point, ever since the 60s, he's been developed, right? Like year after year, different stories and stuff have been introduced and different aspects added to the character to the point where now he is this great character that can stand on his own and lead a film. But Miles, in the first movie, it's about the Spider-Verse, and in this movie it's still about the Spider-Verse, and that's great. Especially in this film, it's great. I'm not complaining about that, but it just, yeah, I'm still not sold on Miles as this lead character. I'm still not sold on Miles as more than just a pretty good token character, because that is what he is. All right, no matter if it's a good or bad token character, it's still a token character, which leaves a bit of negative feelings in there for me. But because I've read like Sensational She-Hulk, at least like a little bit of it, that has given me like a whole new vision on the character. Because yes, it's a She-Hulk, it's just a female Hulk. Hey, let's make a female Hulk. But they fleshed it out. They made it, she became her own thing. She can stand by herself. When you think about She-Hulk and Hulk, they are two different things. They can coexist if they have to, but they can also stand by themselves, and that's what makes her such a good token character. Miles, on the other hand, I just haven't seen that proven with him. I just haven't seen that he can stand by himself. But that's still, that's just like a small little inkling of a problem to me, and it just does not, and it doesn't break the film or anything like that for me. It's still a great film. It's still a masterpiece. It's still amazing. Still spectacular. It is a great film that you should definitely watch if you have not yet. I saw this in the theaters. Absolutely amazing film. All right, now we're down to the big heavy hitters here. Let's not even waste any time here. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2002. I still have no idea what that is. It's probably just the Japanese Spider-Man. Alright, Homecoming or Across the Spider-Verse. As I said, Homecoming is a pretty good film, but Across the Spider-Verse is a masterpiece. It really is a masterpiece. Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man is a pretty good film, but come on now. It's Spider-Man 2. Okay. 2002 or Across the Spider-Verse. Alright, this is basically just gonna be a speed run at this point since I've basically talked about everything. Spider-Man 2 or 3. On any given day, my opinion on these two could actually change, but Spider-Man 2. Across the Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 2 Across the... Oh, wait! Fuck. I'm sorry. Because this was the... Okay, it's slow. The whole point... the whole point of me even doing this thing in the first place was to put these two head to head. Because this kind of signifies a sort of closure for me as a fan of Spider-Man because I've practically known the Spider-Man character and liked the Spider-Man character ever since I was a baby, since I was a little kid. I grew up watching Spider-Man 2 so often, and so for the longest it has never been surpassed in my mind. But after seeing Across the Spider-Verse, I'm sorry, it's just like it is like, as I said, the composition makes it a masterpiece. All right, everything by itself is good, but the composition makes it a masterpiece. Spider-Man 2, yes, everything about it is, as a matter of fact, everything about it is great. Like all of the acting, like just, you know, Peter Parker as a character is more fleshed out and, you know, given more baggage, more dramatic and emotional baggage. But Across the Spider-Verse, those chase scenes, the fight scenes, like everything about the Spot as a villain, I never thought could be so menacing. But it just works. Everything put together works beautifully in Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, as single like things in the movie, it's good, but everything put together, like I said, I just can't stress that enough. The composition is what makes it such a great film. Everything, Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales, Miles' parents, the Spot, Spider-Man 2099, like I forgot all the other, but like Hobie, you know, like the British punk Spider-Man thing, the Indian Spider-Man guy, and just like going into their different worlds, especially in that Indian Spider-Man's world, like that, how they like set up like the buildings and stuff and the way how people live and stuff, it is like, that was beautiful. That was like, that whole segment, the whole time that they spent in that area is one of the best scenes in animation history, I kind of think, because it was just so beautiful, such a rich, you know, such a culturally rich like city, and I love so much how they didn't just make it obvious stuff. Across the Spider-Verse, as a composition, in my opinion, makes it better than Spider-Man 2. All right, it's a tough decision to make. It's a tough result to have, because I have grown up with this film, and for over a decade, well, for 2 decades actually, I absolutely loved it, and I still do love it. It's still a really great Spider-Man film, and it's, you know, it's still a great film. But Across the Spider-Verse is just a superior film in my opinion. You know, they're both great films, except this one's a masterpiece to me. All right, Doc Ock and everything about Spider-Man 2, great. I cannot stress that enough. It is absolutely great. But Across the Spider-Verse is amazing. it is superior. All right, and that's it. That is my closure. That is now it's finally cemented in my mind, my choice. So yeah, thank you for watching. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you think that I picked the best Spider-Man movie, or do you think Spider-Man 2 is still the best movie? Or maybe you prefer the Garfield films, or maybe you're kind of weird and prefer the Iron Boy films with Tom Holland. I'm just joking anyway, but yeah, just this is all just opinionated at the end of the day. But feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. I haven't made a video in a while. I've procrastinated for far too long. Hopefully this is the start of many. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload next. This has been Fraser, and I'll see you all next time. God bless.